I know last week, was it last week? You had like a blind date situation going on?
Oh, no.
Does height matter?
I've never been in my mind like, I can't date someone short. We also live in South Florida where the majority of Hispanic men, for some reason, are super freaking short.
The things that caught our attention about this person for you was that he was incredibly intelligent. He likes a lot of the same hobbies that you like, fishing, sports, like that kind of thing, which is very important. You have to like the same kind of hobbies. Yeah, like I could never be with a man who wants to wake up at 5 a.m. and go on hikes because I don't like doing that. Claudia will go on a hike on a Sunday.
Absolutely, yes.
Alexis likes to deep sea fish. If you take me deep sea fishing, literally I have a wife beater on.
Wife beater comes from.
No.
Do you guys remember the show Cops?
TV.
The reality TV show that was Cops was a huge thing in the 90s. But majority of the people on that show that would beat their wives had on tank tops.
Mine is from Target. Welcome to the Lawyer's Lounge, where we talk about legal problems that turned into legal solutions and some behind the scenes stuff.
HOAs, baby daddies, business breakups. We've seen a lot. And believe me, there's a right way to get it done.
And if you're here, you probably need an attorney or you were hoping for some free legal advice. This is not the place to do that. If you'd like to speak to any of us as attorneys, you can go to rrb-lawyers.com and book a free consultation. It keeps getting better and better, I'm telling you. At this point now, like butter.
You know what she wrote? The This Is Us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I read that one too.
Yeah, I read that
no,
one too.
It ends with us.
It ends with us.
Ends with us.
Oh,
Maria
because
Carla.
This Is Us is...
It's,
We read
no,
that.
it's a show.
I didn't read.
You didn't read it?
I didn't read
This
it.
Is
I
Us is
read
also
it.
another thing that my wife is into. I don't like
There's
This
a
Is
whole
Us.
court case about this. It ends with us.
No, they
What
settled.
is
They
It Ends
settled.
With Us? What's that? Give me
They
some...
settled.
Ryan
No.
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds
and-
is the husband of Blake
and
Lively.
Blake Lively.
Yes.
And the
guy that
what's
plays
Baldoni.
Baldoni.
Justin
Justin Baldoni.
So hold on, because this is, my wife is like
That's
They
like defamation.
settled.
very,
No, but
very
they
into
settled.
this.
Of course they settled.
They looked
Eighty-
There
ridiculous.
was receipts. They looked
pages.
crazy.
80 page. The lawsuit had 80 pages,
Which is very
which
unusual,
I
by the
skimmed
way.
through.
It's very unusual to attach all of your evidence to a complaint.
Yeah, it's a little...
Nobody does that. But this is obviously like a high-profile case where
They were
had to...
slamming each other.
It was more important to prove for himself in the court of public opinion than it was in the actual court case.
Yeah.
Which in high-profile cases, the same thing happened, like with Johnny Depp and stuff. All of these defamation
Yeah.
cases.
Try by media.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
So
trial
it's
by
more.
media.
That's why they attach all this evidence to the complaint, because it becomes
Yeah,
public
that's a
record.
public record, and now
Yeah.
everyone can read
Yeah.
it. So it's... No, that shit was ridiculous. So, like, I was looking at it, and I'm like, enough. I'm like,
you
how
hear the
far are we
voicemails?
going with this?
Did you
They're
hear the
so
voice?
cringy. And I'm like,
But I was disappointed because I read the book.
I read the book. I
And
love
it's-
the book.
I love the book, and then the movie was
And then I
just
didn't
so
even... I
romantic.
didn't watch the movie at all.
I watched it.
because Blake Lively's like version of it. This is I didn't read the book and I didn't
I
watch the movie. But
watched
it was
all
like,
the interviews. She was
apparently
like-
it was like ridiculous. Like she didn't I heard she didn't even read the book.
How are you gonna do that and not read the book? Like,
and
that's
it took
the
him like
whole
5
premise.
years. 5 years. I mean, I don't know
You
anything
could read that
about.
book in
Here's
2
a
seconds.
here's a question that I
5
have for you guys.
Days.
Okay, so educate me. What was the outcome of the case then?
They settled.
Yeah.
So they settled.
Mhm.
And because I'm completely oblivious to this entire debacle, who sued who?
Justin. Well,
No,
originally
she
Blake
sued
Lively
him.
sued
Yeah,
him.
Blake Lively's the one that initiated it.
She initiated the
Mhm.
The suit.
the
For
suit.
Saying for
discrimination.
discrimination and for
Was it for defamation as well? No.
No.
it was like something sexual, like
Yeah, it was supposedly that he was like inappropriate.
yeah, that
Yeah.
he
During
was
the
inappropriate
during the
towards
film, during the shooting.
her. Yeah.
And then
Right.
he was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Hold-
sue you for
Hold
defamation."
on. Like
Sit tight.
Because he had records of her
Everything.
being
Both
inappropriate.
of them had records
they
of
had
all
records of
conversations.
everything.
oh, the
emails.
videos of
And they
them
were-
acting and like in between takes when they're like
yeah.
all over each other, and she's like literally teaching him how to be on top of her. Like, how are you gonna turn around and then say, "Oh, you were making advances towards me. I was super uncomfortable." What are
I
you
think it
talking
was-
about?
I
We're
think it
watching
was
you.
Ryan Reynolds that orchestrated that entire
It
thing.
was insane, and I'm like,
But he's
And then they made
historically
a-
he's insane.
they
like
did-
Ryan Reynolds is insane.
yeah, they did the SNL 50-year thing,
Mhm.
and Ryan Reynolds was one of the guys that stood up and spoke. He was in the audience, and they were like, "Oh, like, have you been like, how's everything been for you?" He's like, "Why? Have you heard something?"
Yeah.
Like, as a joke, there's
Yeah.
one of
And
things like,
she
if your
was
wife is
mortified.
going through a case like that, that's not something you poke fun at. Like, that's supposed to be a sensitive
He's a
topic.
psychopath.
Like, it's just one of the things where you're like, If your wife is genuinely going through something that serious that she went forward, made this complaint, it's out in the public, you're not gonna say that. Like you're not gonna.
That marriage is gonna.
I did not like it at all.
I bet you a month of producing that they will be divorced within 5 years.
You think so?
my
They've been
God,
together
I'm
a
not
long
gonna take
time.
such an
I
out.
don't think
I'm not gonna
so.
take such an outrageous bet. But,
Yeah, that's crazy.
But again, devil's advocate.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Comedy, right? And playing into something that is so serious helps alleviate some of the scrutiny that comes with that.
That's what my therapist told me. No, because I always joke about extreme situations.
Yeah, but I think that's like a defense mechanism we all have. Like,
And yeah,
Exactly my point.
That's what it is.
That's
don't
his
know.
defense to
and
easing into
yeah.
what the seriousness of what's
and
going
my
on.
therapist, I don't know if it's because I was paying him, but he went as far as to tell me that highly intelligent people. So I was like, okay, I feel accomplished now.
yeah.
Highly intelligent.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Highly intelligent people have the ability to joke about extreme.
I thought it was just people that dealt with a lot of
Situations.
trauma that know how to laugh about it
Apparently,
now.
highly intelligent people also say a lot of bad words.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
We are
Yeah.
And
high
I'm-
IQs over here.
And I read this morning, I don't know why I didn't send it to you. I read this morning that friends who say, kind of like friends who offend each other, they are
last longer,
300,
yeah.
no, they are 300% more sincere, and the friendship is going to last better. I mean, it's going to last longer than any other friendship. So it's highly recommended that
because who offend
It's
each
highly
other.
recommended
It's
to
highly
talk shit
recommended.
into each other's faces.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think I've ever had a problem with telling you guys whatever it is that we're thinking. Like,
No.
I don't care.
No, like yesterday, Claudia was like, why in your right mind would you tell a staff member to stay for the partner meeting? And I was like,
Yeah, when you asked, I was like,
We're going to
why'd
have
she say that?
the Q2 meeting.
yeah.
We talk about money, goals.
Like,
And I was like,
internal processes.
Is it okay if our brand new intern stays for this
Who's
meeting?
been around for 5 hours?
She asked for my permission. First of all, who am I? Second of all, I'm looking at her, and she's genuinely waiting for me to say yes, and I go,
No, I thought
No.
I didn't think you were gonna say yes, and I didn't think you were gonna say no. I was genuinely asking for
yeah,
permission.
yeah.
And you were like, why sitting there? And I was like,
I'm sitting there dizzy, like trying to focus, and I hear this question, and I was like,
what a fucking idiot.
what?
No, I mean, and then after I was like, would you like me to go outside and flagellate myself? Didactic moment. Flagellate means to like whip yourself.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
It doesn't
like,
mean to
what?
pass gas for those of you.
Yeah.
who are
Yeah, it's
watching.
not flatulence. That's pretty
not
close.
flat-
That was
Actually-
funny though.
That was
No,
funny.
it was funny. It was
So many people getting divorced.
a lot. The
A
rate
lot of
just
people
keeps
are getting
going up and up.
And Julia's not getting divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's
But
a little
It's
asterisk.
someone he was gonna.
But in general, like
recommend.
so
Refer.
many people getting divorced these days.
It
I
happens
don't
all the time.
understand.
I
What's
think.
happening?
Well, first of all, it's like the rate is like 50% or something like that.
It hasn't gone up from that?
I'm sure it has. I haven't looked. I mean,
Let's do
ask,
a quick
ask el primo Google.
Google.
Or
Googlealo.
our best friend
US
chat.
divorce rate.
Our best friend chat. Yeah, you know what it is. I think people know that they can kind of. Also, people are a lot more independent now, so they don't feel the need to kind of stay with their partner.
50%.
It's still
50%. That's pretty high, I would say.
in all of the U.S.
U.S. divorce rate per 1,000 married. Almost 50% of all marriages in the United States will end in divorce or separation.
Wow.
Damn.
Researchers estimate that 41% of all first marriages end in divorce, 60% of second marriages, and 73% of third marriages. First of
there's
all, let me
no
tell you right
hope.
now. If you've been divorced twice and you're getting married a third time,
No, you have problems.
stop.
Yeah.
Enough.
At
Just
some
enough.
point.
At what point are you just like, it's not for me? Like,
I'm on my first marriage.
that 50%. I wonder how long after. I wonder if there's something that
No,
tells you how long
but
after
remember,
you've
Sal-
been married.
No, Sal was like, no, there's not divorce here. Divorce is not on the table.
86 divorces per hour.
Those are good odds for me.
Yeah, right?
As a divorce attorney, not a good.
I'm not gonna
good odds,
lie.
not good odds for me as a married lady, but I think we'll make it through.
15%
course.
of all adult women in the U.S. right now are divorced or separated.
56.
But also,
Oh, there it is. The average first marriage that ends in divorce lasts about 8 years. So once you, I've heard about that.
Okay,
One.
we
You heard
got 8 good years.
yeah, the
the
7
7-year itch.
the crisis. There is one of
I
the
heard a
year and a
7-year
half.
itch. Maybe it's like a
They're
different.
like
Like as long as you can get past like that hump, apparently, like after year 7 is when like a. I don't know. I've never been married,
I've
so
heard
I
it.
can't
I've
speak.
heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
And I
I've
have
heard
had
that.
friends. I've not my close friends, but I've had like friends of friends that hit the like 7-year mark, and they kind of hit a
Really, like-
tumultuous period, and they've made it past, and now they've
now
been
you-
together for a long time. Yeah.
Mm.
I wonder what it is about 7 years. I heard also that we change like our
Your pers-
tastes every
Yeah,
7 years.
like quite literally, like your
I
taste
would-
buds are
7
supposed
years
to change
is
too.
way too
Oh, I
long.
meant like decoration.
No, but I'm saying like in general, like I think it applies to everything, like your taste buds, your taste in general, like your everything.
Really?
Like 7
I
years.
feel
it's
like mine
a-
will be like every year and a half.
Yes and no for certain things. For certain
I have
things.
kind of like year and a half. They would
No.
go,
So maybe we'll practice something different in 7 years.
I know.
Relax.
It's a lot to
relax.
learn. Like it's a lot
No
to learn.
quiero.
Just one
Yeah.
thing, please.
Yes. Let me finish learning this if there is such a
There's no
finish.
Yeah.
There's no finishing.
There's no
you know,
finishing.
okay, so you know why I don't think we're ever gonna change like what we practice? Because our areas constantly change.
Always.
Yeah.
There's
There's
never
always
like
so
a
much-
just a this is it. That's all it's ever gonna be. No, sorry.
And you gotta love Florida's legislature for changing the rules every so often. I mean, I'm not sure. I know that they do it because of their constituents or whatever. Like
I don't
Yeah.
also like the laws change with a society.
Yeah,
changes.
things are always gonna be changing.
I think it used to be illegal to walk your alligator down the street.
I've heard of that.
Just your alligator? Jesus.
You know
Just your
what, Joe?
alligator.
We should do like
Like-
dead laws
Or dumb laws.
or dumb laws. Yeah, because I'm sure Florida has like really.
There's something about you can't have sexual relations with a porcupine somewhere. I read that.
What?
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen that too.
How?
You see, like I want to know what happened that needed
That's
to become
really
a thing.
mean. Like, why would you do that to an animal?
I don't know, but
Why would
that's
you
the
do
law.
that
But
to
it's
yourself?
specifically a
It's
porcupine.
weird.
Yeah, but like yourself, who cares? Human beings are like whatever. But like a little porcupine,
I don't know what to tell you.
that's disgusting.
I know.
I don't know, but it's just saying. We'll start researching
What do you
that.
have to do?
I'm sure there's a bunch of like dumb laws out there.
I would
Yeah.
assume that. I mean, if you think about it, like just having sex with animals should be illegal altogether. It's not just
It is,
porcupine.
isn't it?
It's weird.
It's disgusting.
In Florida, it is, isn't it?
It's also illegal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
That's what he said.
illegal.
It's illegal.
And you could say what you were about.
Can I say it's disgusting?
That is
gross.
Yes,
disgusting.
absolutely.
It's
What is
disgusting.
that?
Are you worried about
Ew.
offending someone?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
That's
that's
gross.
disgusting. That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
That's not okay.
I'm not afraid of alienating people who do this. Like, you know
Yeah,
what?
that's
It's
okay.
fine.
Yeah,
That's
it's
gross.
disgusting.
But it's
That's-
like what's happening now with the restaurants in Miami-Dade County. If
What?
they make the law.
What?
No,
Yeah,
the
you can't
one-
have sex in restaurants
No, no
anymore.
sex.
You
But
can't have
the-
sex with animals in
the
restaurants.
law, the dumb law, the one that has been in
Oh,
place
yeah,
since
yeah.
1993.
She means like dead dumb laws.
Like dead laws. There is this law that was enacted in 1993.
Sierra was born.
Yeah, restaurants that make more than $400,000 a year and have a license to sell alcohol, they have to pay 1% to the homeless fund and victims of domestic violence. That law hasn't been enforced. Now, with the change in administration and the tax collector office new setup or whatever, they are enforcing that law and they want the restaurant owners to pay the 1% retroactively for 5 years.
I thought you were gonna say
No, not
from
Like from the
1993.
moment, yeah.
No, no, no,
Jesus,
no,
Can you
for
imagine
5
having
years.
to retroactively
No,
pay
no.
for 30
So,
something
So
years?
I know there are like 2 or 3 cities who voted against it, and they're exempt. One of them being Miami Beach. They passed a referendum, whatever, and all the restaurants in Miami Beach are exempt because of the amount of money they bring. So it's kind of like
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah. But everybody else in Dade County, all the restaurant owners are going through it, and they're getting notices, and there's not a streamlined process for them to pay. They never received
because
notice
they've
before.
never
So
used it. Like, they've
yeah, so
never
I'm now
applied it.
helping a whole bunch of restaurant owners. Hopefully, we'll get to like do something with
Yeah.
them to help them figure the whole thing out with the
To
city
fight it, yeah.
to fight it. Yeah, kind of because you're not against collecting from now on, like whatever. But
But to
5
do it
years,
retroactively is
retroactively,
crazy.
that's insane.
It's unfair. It's unfair.
No,
Because not
that's
for nothing. even if you're very successful, owning a restaurant is a very tight business, and the margins aren't that big. To then be like, actually, also for the last 5 years, give me 1% of everything, come up with it right now.
Money that you did not collect.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, this law was enacted by the vote. I mean, was approved by the voters.
Yeah, of course.
So now a whole bunch of voters
that aren't restaurant owners.
32 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly, but hold on. Now, how do they fix that, right? Mind you, they only make, if you make $400,000 and up, that's it. And you have a license to sell alcohol, there you go. You got to pay the 1%. So the tax is 7%. Now what you're doing is you're charging 8%. We're complaining the voters.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. ¿Cómo es el dicho de la gallina?
¿Quién puso el huevo primero?
No, que la gallina que se la meten, que si no sé qué.
I know,
que chía cuando se la meten o cuando se la sacan.
Yeah, that one.
How do you even know that?
That's like an old Cuban
I don't know
saying.
I don't know if it was a gallina thing though. I just know that it's a thing.
It's like yeah, it's
I don't think it's a gallina thing. I think
That's
it's
a book. That's the only reason you know that, Alexis, is because you read a book on it.
I did not read a book on that. I'll tell you that
heard
much.
it from some old Cuban cousin of hers.
I do read
Abuela.
good books, but not
I
that.
gotta ask my grandma. I don't know about that
No,
one.
yeah, I've heard that.
I haven't heard that one, and I've heard some crazy ones.
Let me text my mom.
But it wasn't a Cuban thing.
No,
not
Katiuska wouldn't
not that.
She's not gonna
It
know.
was just that it wasn't a gallina thing. It was just like a reference in general, like complaining with or without it type of situation.
Okay.
But just a little more
Chisme.
chuma.
So yeah, that's what's going on with one of the things
With
going on
restaurants.
now with the restaurants and the tax collector.
And laws that have
Yeah.
just not been enforced in a long time. And they're like, you know
And
what?
there's
Let's
an
do this.
argument. I wrote a petition for the restaurant owners to sign and whatnot. There's a legal argument, the political argument, and the social argument, because some of these people, like, they don't have the money. How are you gonna pay money you didn't collect, money you don't have?
Yeah, because you
What-
didn't
who
plan
does that?
for it.
Yeah, that's
Right,
tough.
exactly. As a business owner, you do your numbers,
Yeah.
do your
according
numbers
to
for
what
the
you need.
quarter,
Yeah.
which has 4 months.
Yes.
No, just kidding.
No.
Okay, so
I
the
was 3 months. Okay.
so the story. So how does this story come about? We were having one of those like
At the very beginning.
yeah, one
very
of our
beginning meeting.
first like partner
Like
meetings
partner meetings.
late at night, and
Yes,
we were
late.
talking about the quarters, how we were gonna set goals for the quarters, and I don't even remember how it came up, but we were like, yeah, because every quarter has 4 months.
And then I go, no, a year doesn't have 16 months.
No, you didn't even say
You
that.
didn't
You
even
were like,
say
no,
it.
I think it's 3 months, and me and Alexis are like, are you sure?
Yeah, we were
because I
sitting
think
there, I was
it's
like-
4.
I was like, I know it's 4 quarters. In one.
That's what I was gonna say. You associated the 4
Yeah, the
And
quarters.
four.
I was like, guys, it's 4 months and a quarter. And
Yeah.
Claudia's like, I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And then we had to sit there and do math. We're like, all right, if there's 4 quarters in a year,
Yeah.
and then I was like, how many? There's 3 quarters in a year, right?
and then it was 3 quarters in a year, and I was like, that doesn't sound
and
right
then,
either.
Claudia's like, quarter,
4 quarters.
4 quarters. There's 12 months divided by 4. That's 3.
Alex said that?
I'm sure you did.
One song, yeah.
One of us.
So now
had
when
to
we
have.
met this week for our end of quarter meeting,
I was like, yes. Now I get.
it's like we
this.
figured it out.
You know what? And Q2 fell on the first of the month.
It did.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Mm.
It's the little things.
Yeah.
We set our goals for
Business
Q2.
owner stuff.
Yeah. We did set our goals. Well, we set our fiscal goals.
Yeah.
We gotta next meeting we gotta set our intangible goals.
Okay.
Like what?
I don't know.
She would
but
write
I don't
it
know what that
down.
means, but I'm gonna figure it out.
She will come up with them.
Intangible
I will
goals?
come up with that.
Are
You
these
not okay. So another funny goal setting thing that we did in October, like a month after we opened, we had our like vision board
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
and we invited our 2 other friends. And so, little thing about me, I used to coach CrossFit and I used to teach yoga, and I used to meditate a lot, and I still do meditate. I used to
Cantidad.
lead
Todos los
meditation.
días ella se levanta y dice, voy a meditar.
Well, I mean, so, but I mean, it's like so incongruous with.
Tú me le puedes poner un cartel que diga inflador aquí cuando ella diga yo medito.
So it's very incongruous with like my personality, right? Because you don't think of me, the lawyer who wakes up in the morning and sues everybody and thinks, "Wow, meditation."
Yeah.
No,
Close your eyes.
but so I'm like,
Can you do your meditation voice, please?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the voice also that throws off the whole thing.
All right, but give me this explanation in your
Oh, I was gonna close my eyes and get ready. I was
No.
like,
All right, but both of you, please close your eyes. Please,
So-
please. Let's be serious, guys. Come on.
Let's be serious.
Are you closing your eyes?
So let's take a moment. Let's take a moment to close our eyes. And this is Claudia the whole time. Like, this is Claudia the entire time I'm leading this meditation so that we can visualize and set goals. Let's take a moment to center ourselves.
Yo no puedo. I can't take
And
it.
I was like, cállate ya. Let's take a moment to center ourselves.
because that voice is not your voice.
I know. Who
And
is
close
she?
your eyes.
No.
Take a deep breath in.
It's
through
almost
your nose.
uncomfortable.
Okay, ya.
Right? I don't
Like
like it.
you through your mouth.
No.
And then I was opening my
Breathe
eyes
into
to
your
see if
diaphragm.
Alexis
I know.
was laughing.
I
I'm
was
like,
and
they're
we'd be like
probably
this, and I'm like,
That
And
was
like
funny.
breathe into your diaphragm.
it was so hard not to
And
laugh.
lines breath
And then
out.
she was, she was into it. Her eyes were closed, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Visualize a light starting at the crown.
I know.
of
And then
your
you
head.
said,
No,
visualize
your life.
Yeah, no, what makes you happy? And I go,
That's where I got stuck. I was like, I don't know.
Relief?
I was like, you're asking for too
going
much.
on vacation? No.
She's like, money.
You're,
And I'm
oh,
like,
the one that you
huh.
were like, you wake up in your house.
You wake up in the
Who's
home.
there with you that makes you so happy? And I was like, I don't know.
Harry and
It's
Charlie.
like my
Yeah.
dogs.
And then I kind of like finished the whole thing a little bit concerned because when she said, you visualize something that will make you happy, and I'm like,
I had no
Well,
answer.
you don't just visualize what makes you happy, right? So you visualize your home. Look around. What does that home look like?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Who
I
are
ended
you
up more
sharing-
stressed than relaxed.
No.
at the end.
Who are you sharing that home with?
I was like,
yes, yeah, all that I did. There was a moment where you said something about think about what will make you truly happy or whatever, and I just thought about myself laying in a bed full of money. And I'm like, there's something wrong with
Yeah.
me right now.
Our boards were just
all
like
the
dollar
whole-
bills.
I know. All the whole
vacations.
love your family, health. Okay, yeah, fine, whatever.
But
then I was
I
like,
gotta pull out the vision board. It's here
no,
somewhere.
going
And
on
they
vacation.
came out really cute though.
No, mine had
Mine has a
problems.
Porsche Panamera,
Mine looks
Mine
tormented.
looked very nice.
a couple of Rolexes,
Yeah, I have my
lots of
watches.
airplanes, Bali,
Yeah.
Fiji, Thailand.
Sí, ya meditando.
Yeah. I had like a workout person, like someone like ripped,
But
sweating.
did you or did you not work out more this
I did.
year?
I have
Yes.
worked out a lot this year.
Okay. I don't have the Panamera yet, but we're coming for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a few things there.
Same. That's my dream
We're
car.
getting
Yeah.
Really?
That's your dream car? That's my dream car too.
Look
That's
at
like my
that.
I made it car.
Yeah.
Which, that's like baseline, right? Because like
Yeah.
the Panamera is an accessible car
Yeah, I
for
would say
people
so.
for people who like me, that I'm not Jeff Bezos.
No.
You know? I know.
Remember.
I know
You know-
it's
You're
really
poor.
hard to believe.
I know.
You're
That's
poor.
crazy.
I am
But
poor.
but
I have Target furniture in my house.
but by the way, he likes it to be called Bezos
Oh yeah, Bezos.
because it's cubano
Well,
arrepentido.
He's not Cuban.
He is Cuban.
It's his stepfather who's Cuban.
No,
No. He's
I
Cuban.
have a problem with that. If
He's
you,
Cuban.
His stepfather's Cuban.
So he took his
Nah.
stepfather's last name.
Yes.
Did he?
Yeah, you want me to look it up right now?
Please.
see,
Please, I love.
And
I
if
have a
that's the
problem
case, then I'll
with
give.
that.
I
If that's the
read
case,
Wiki-
I'll give him a pass. But if he's like Cuban descent, like, then
His stepfather.
it is what you know.
How did you figure this out?
Because
She
I read
reads
Wikipedia
Wikipedia.
articles on my free
Oh, I
time.
forgot.
I also like
Weird.
deep dive sometimes. Like, so one time, I had like, I had a conversation with someone, and I was like, yeah, because Jeff Bezos or whatever, and they were like, who's that? And I was like,
Okay,
Mhm.
hold on.
Jeff
Relax.
Bezos, the millionaire owner.
I don't
the
read Wikipedia,
billionaire
but I know
owner
that.
of Amazon, who you order packages from every second of every day. No, I've never heard of that guy. And I was like,
No, that person lives under a rock.
Simpate
though.
hueco.
Were they a
that person?
5-year-old?
I can't disclose who that person is. I'll tell you later.
Oh.
Okay.
I was
I
like,
need to
what do you
know
mean
now.
you don't know
Yeah.
who Jeff Bezos is? Everybody on the planet knows who Jeff Bezos is.
No, that's absurd.
I'll tell you right now.
That sounds like someone we went to law school with. Am I?
Was it?
No,
Oh.
not even. Yeah, after his parents divorced, his mother married Cuban immigrant Miguel Mike Bezos.
Hmm.
Miguelito!
Ay, amiga.
Miguel! And Miguel
So
was a
he's
Cuban
not
immigrant.
¿Tú crees que después de esto tú te vas a poner seria with the
Yeah.
with the meditation
around.
voice? Look around and look around. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Look, and Miguel adopted 4-year-old Jeff, whose surname was legally changed from Jorgensen. To Bezos.
Bezos is way better.
Oh, it's Jergens.
Jurgensen, where's that from?
And then Jacqueline, her husband, and her son, Jacqueline is Jeff's mom, left the area and asked Jeff's alcoholic dad to never talk to him again.
Can you imagine?
Wow, look at that. A Cuban
Wow.
stepping
Which
in.
alcoholic dad was like, sure, whatever.
I wonder where his mom.
And Megan raised Jeff.
To
You see?
be
Miguel did a
And Miguel did a
great
good thing.
job.
Yeah.
Dito, the Cuban immigrant produced the greatest, well, I don't know about the greatest, but like one of the highest
most
earning, successful businessmen in the world. Wherever you put Cuban people, they succeed.
Yeah, they can say whatever they want to say, but I mean, they're not bad. I'm pretty proud.
Yeah.
We'll be
We
Cuban.
come- We come from good roots.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm very proud and you know,
100%.
makes me who I am. I wouldn't want it any other way, for sure.
It's the struggle.
Because you wouldn't be the same person.
Oh,
Like, it's
no.
just not, it's not the
Not at
same
all.
thing.
Es que cuando uno sufre los horrores del
Del comunismo.
del comunismo.
Oh my God.
Or,
No,
well, I
for
didn't
real.
suffer them personally.
No, but you lived through them.
I didn't live through communism, but my parents did.
Enough. Con Catiuca. That's
I
it.
know, but
I'm going to be the type of mom like, I did not escape communism for you to be like this.
No.
I'll be
please.
like that.
And then you're going to turn around and be like, ay, déjala ya.
En Cuba no había papel sanitario. Don't be crying because your Uber is like 20 minutes late.
But kids complain about that kind of stuff.
They do.
I don't know. So
Okay.
our new intern is young, is like 10 years younger than us. And
Is she?
sometimes, yeah, she's like 24.
Wow.
And she says things sometimes that I'm like, holy shit, I don't know what that means. Like, what was it that she said the other day? I was explaining something to her and she's like, oh yeah, slay. And I was like,
Oh, yeah, I know what slave means.
what?
But I've never used it in a conversation. Like, I've never used it in a sentence. Like, I know what
We
it
don't-
means, but I
I
don't
have
speak that
very
way.
high hopes for modernizing myself now.
Yeah, but not too much because it's not us. Like, it's just not how
it
we
looks
speak.
stupid when I say
It
it.
do-
It's very cute when she says it. It's
I mean, I've never heard
very
you say
dumb
it, but
when I
I'm
say
sure
it.
it wouldn't sound natural.
No, we look
Slay?
stupid. It's
Yeah,
like
I
it's
don't
like
like it.
when men who were born in the 70s try to be cool with
Mm.
like 20-something-year-old girls. That's how we would.
That
come
just
off.
sounds creepy.
Yeah, but like but I have hopes. I have hopes now that our new intern is gonna like
Modernize
teach
us
me
a
how to
little
be
bit?
cool.
I don't really want to.
Because I feel like
I
I'm
feel like
venturing.
I'm pretty cool.
No, I'm venturing into like not cool territory.
My
I
brother
really am.
tells me that all the time, though. Like, they make fun of me
How?
sometimes because apparently we're, like, really far off from what's happening now in the
We're very
world.
out of touch.
I didn't realize
Well,
it until they'll be
yeah.
talking, and I'm like,
What do
Huh?
they? What do they talk about?
I couldn't
I
even
don't
tell
know.
you.
I can't tell you
tell
because I don't know what any.
Like,
of
I'll
it
be
means.
hearing and I'm like, what is that? And immediately, oh, boomer. And I'm like, I'm not a fucking boomer. Like, relax. Every time I take a boomerang on Instagram, oh, that's some boomer shit. I'm like,
well,
it's cute. What do you mean?
let me tell you.
Like, what do you want me to do? Take a regular, like, non-moving photo?
I don't know what they do. I don't know what's cool anymore.
I
Yeah,
started
it is better.
wearing-
It is better to take a still than a
Okay.
damn boomerang is crazy.
No,
Even
Oh
Joe
my
who's older
God.
than us, is like a boomerang.
I
Alexis.
love
A boomerang
my
is like-
boomerangs.
This is a cool feature.
Listen, they're a hit, all right?
I like
you
it.
think it's a hit.
I
love
did
them.
see a boomerang this last.
Yeah, you
on your
did, right?
story.
It was
I was
good.
like,
That's
I looked
cute,
at it and I
though.
was like,
It was pretty popular, if I may
which
say so
boomer-
myself.
you know which boomerang? You know which boomerang we
I
do a
love
lot when we do our little toast.
I-
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, every time.
So we start in the middle. We start in the middle,
start in
and
the
then we
middle.
follow it. And like, Joe's face is like, oh,
Yeah.
Well,
pain.
now I'm wearing long socks like that.
welcome to the
All
club.
the high,
Yeah,
I started
the
buying
high
them,
ones?
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
that's
nah.
like new generation cool stuff.
That is new
Yeah,
generation.
that's I got like
But I
a
will
complete
say,
half. Like
I
no.
prefer that because it keeps me from getting blisters in the back of my feet. Like when
Mhm.
I'm on the treadmill or doing stuff, that it starts rubbing.
Mm.
So now I'm like, okay, they're useful and trendy, so that's fine. I can
Mhm.
do that.
And I
Yeah,
feel young.
But I
baggy
want to
clothes
wear
are coming back. That's another
Nike
thing.
clothes,
Baggy
Oh.
clothes are coming back.
baggy clothes,
Yeah. So
baggy
all
like
my
what,
all
like
this
hoodies or sweatpants
for guys
Oh.
and for girls too.
For girls too.
For girls too. But
Billie
like,
Eilish
like
used to wear
skinny jeans,
baggy stuff.
No, I hate skinny
Oh
clothes.
no, yeah, no.
done.
I
Like,
can't do
that is
skinny.
No,
like
I don't.
I could
don't
do
wear
straight
anymore.
leg.
straight
Mhm.
legs are
I
like
could do
really,
a little baggy,
really good
not
and
too
stuff.
baggy. 'cause then I look
I do
homeless, but-
my Levi's.
Yeah, that's
I
like,
have like they're like
mom-
just straight
mom
cut. Yeah,
jeans.
mom jeans.
yeah,
Mom
we have
jeans are
mom
really
jeans.
nice.
I love
like
mom
mom
jeans.
jeans.
I mean,
they're
I
in
used to
right
rock
now.
the skinny jeans for a long time, but that's because that's what it was in back
That's not
then.
cool anymore.
No, are you crazy? I don't even touch them anymore.
That's not cool. Do not
got-
wear that in front of our intern.
No.
Do not embarrass me.
No, I've got rid of all.
No, I
of
don't wear
mine.
them. First of all, I don't even like the way they look anymore. Now I,
I
see
want to
them
be
and I'm
cool. I want her to
"Ugh."
think we're cool.
I know I'm not cool. Like I've accepted it. I'm okay with it.
But you know what? You know
I live
what?
in
Cool. Cool is wearing or doing something confidently.
That we're
'Cause
pretty
I
cool.
don't-
listen,
cool.
I do
We're the
everything
coolest.
confidently. At that point,
You know what I mean? Like
Then we're
that.
cool.
That to me, you guys, I think,
we're cool.
show that very, very, very. Like you guys, it's effortless how you guys do it.
I
So-
think we're very.
But
confident in
boomerangs,
the way we are.
just don't do the boomerang.
Listen, I am confident in my
I
boomerang.
like that.
Toast boomerangs are
You
still
see?
accepted. They're like right there.
No.
They're like right at the cusp of like, don't do it again.
And then we'll look at it and be like, okay, now
Okay,
can
now.
we toast?
That's funny.
You know what I did
God.
the other day that's like boomer shit? I took a picture of the meal I was eating, but it's because I wanted to show.
Oh. But you weren't
somebody.
posting it.
I wasn't gonna post it. No.
Yeah, I haven't posted food in a while because now even I'm like,
I don't post anything anymore. I feel like I
Embarrassing.
have
I rarely
to.
post. I mean, I post on my story occasionally depending on what I'm doing. I haven't posted on Instagram like an actual post
Yeah.
since we opened the firm.
Well, I posted on Sunday because we look really cute.
Well, on my post.
Oh,
post,
that
I,
you guys did look very cute.
I
on
posted
Sunday. Our
a
outfits
picture
on
of
Sunday
myself,
were a little
obviously,
different.
because like we all know that I have an ego.
You
that has been through.
reintroduced yourself.
I did, and then I attached the Jay-Z's song "Allow Me to Reintroduce Myself."
Oh, I remember that one.
and
That's-
that, you know what the
That's
caption was?
That's very boomer, but go ahead. But it's a good boomer. I
and then
like
you know
it.
what
I
the
think
caption was?
myself, whatever.
The
what was it?
Snoop Dogg. First
Oh,
of all,
I
I
wanna
want to
thank
thank
me.
me.
Wow.
Went full
Listen,
boomy.
you did it with confidence. That's
Yeah,
what
you
it is.
see?
Full boomy.
Full booms.
All right, you go look at it and tell me if it's like full
Listen,
blown
I like it because I'm a sucker for
Jay-Z.
For Tracy.
not a
I don't
sucker for
think
Jay-Z,
so.
but I'm a sucker for like creative intent. The intent was there.
There you go.
The intent
It is
is
what it
there.
Do you find that people are faithful to their attorneys? Like the way that they're faithful to their hairdresser, to their nail lady, to their
depends.
to their barber.
Yeah.
Here's
Like,
the thing: you guys get a lot of repeat customers because it's real estate and business. So
yeah,
you do those things over and over again.
consistently.
Mm-hmm.
You really only get divorced once,
Mm-hmm.
and you only
Uh,
die once.
I don't know. According to what I read, 63%
Oh, yeah, that's
of second marriages end in divorce, and
true.
then 70 something for the third one. So
That's true.
There's
you
some
may have a
hope.
couple
Good
that
odds
come
for
back
me.
a couple
So
times.
hopefully, listen, if you're getting divorced again and I've divorced you before, I'd be happy to divorce you again.
Yeah. And why not? You already kind of know them. You're comfortable.
Yeah.
I'll sue your spouse for divorce.
Yeah. why
I
not?
like my clients very much. Right now,
It's like, well,
I
because we also
like
have,
all of them.
which is nice because it's our firm.
Mhm.
Like, we have the liberty of being picky with who we want to take on as clients in the sense of, do I feel like it's a case that I would feel comfortable defending or taking on or doing? So, as much as they're picking us, we're picking them.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah,
have to
because we
feel
actually
good
work
with what I'm
the
doing.
cases.
Yeah, we work the
Like, we
cases ourselves. So it's different. When you're working for another law firm and they give you,
You don't have a choice.
you don't have a choice. It's not your.
We get the privilege of being able to vibe with the client.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they hire us.
Yeah.
People
Oh.
do business with people they like and trust.
And I also think that people choose an attorney that matches their personality.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You know, because like I find I know I am very assertive, but I am by no means a bully. Like I am not the.
I wouldn't consider you a bully.
No, yeah, I'm not an attorney who's a bully, and there's a lot of family law attorneys who are bullies. I'm not a bully, and I say this because a client of mine, who she's probably my favorite client, I absolutely love her. She said it the other day that her like spouse chose an attorney like her, a bully, and I'm co-counsel on the case, so I'm not like I'm the trial attorney. I'm not like the regular negotiation attorney.
Is okay.
Yeah. And she's like, I chose attorneys that are like me. Nice people who
Mhm.
want to come to
Yeah.
a settlement, you know, and like, but it's true. People choose because how are you supposed to
Their
communicate?
personality. Yeah.
How are you supposed to communicate with somebody who is not like you?
Yeah, it's hard. And
It's
make them
difficult.
understand your point of view. Like, it's very different.
Yeah, it doesn't even go well when you're having the first consultation. You immediately
Because you
notice
start butting heads. Like, your
communication here
disagreement-
is
yeah.
gonna be very hard,
It's hard.
and this is not gonna work out.
Yeah, that's it. Like, some people just don't like the advice or the guidance that you're offering. You're like,
Mhm.
okay, that's fine. Like, it's not for everyone, but if this is how I feel is the best way to go about it, like, that's what I think. If you don't like
I mean,
it,
that's what you're
fine. We
paying me
can
for.
always go a different route if that's what you feel, but I'm going to tell you I don't think it's the best idea.
No,
And
that's
some
what you're
people don't
paying
like
me
that. Yeah,
for.
it is
Yeah.
what it is. But
Yeah.
I'd rather be honest and take on the clients that are willing to work with me and go the route that I think is best than be like butting heads and arguing the whole time.
Yeah, but Maria is right, because in real estate and business and property, like it's usually like investors.
Yeah, it's repeat people. So
landlords,
once
like
you get
repeat
people like that, a lot of the people that I've been dealing with are on a consistent basis at this point. So.
Yeah.
So when I do see repeat clients is when it's post judgment stuff and
They wanna
they have
amend.
to they have
whatever.
they want to amend or unfortunately they have to enforce the final judgment that the other spouse is not complying with or the former spouse is not complying with. That's when I tend to see the repeat customer and or no, you know what, like on the probate side, the beneficiaries will come back for estate planning because they don't want to.
They don't want to deal with that.
They don't want to
have
have their own family go through what they went through.
Which is, I feel like that should be everyone's response. Like the moment you're going through that process and you're seeing it, I feel like the initial response should be, I want to make sure that my people don't have to do this when it comes to my time to pass, because it's a lot of freaking work. Even if they did what they think was the best way, it's usually not, because people aren't fully informed as to the process of the difference between a will and a trust and what happens when someone passes. It's hard, and going online and Googling those things isn't your best way to handle that.
And sometimes people don't want to pay.
Yeah, they don't want to pay. But you know what? It costs your beneficiaries a lot
of money.
I've seen people who draft wills with like ChatGPT, and there's a bunch of stuff in it that's not enforceable, and they end up coming to me because they have to probate the estate, unfortunately. Because a lot of the stuff in the will, one, was not enforceable, and two, you have to probate a will.
Yeah.
You have to probate a will.
That does not skip the process.
No, and then you're stuck in court for minimum 3 months because you have the creditor period. There's no way around that unless the person died like more than 2 years ago. But normally, when do you go to an attorney? Right after the person dies.
You want to figure out what to do.
Yeah, so your property or whatever, it ends up stuck in probate. You still have to pay the property taxes. You still have to pay the light. You still have to pay
the mortgage,
the
whatever,
water,
stuck on hold.
And you can't, and you're dealing with it after having lost. Usually, it's one of the most important people in your lives, right? It's a spouse, a child, sometimes, unfortunately, a parent, a sibling. Like, it's very unfortunate stuff, and people don't realize that there are so many options. Like, there are options that are not extremely expensive, right? Like, not everybody needs a trust.
Yeah, every situation is different.
Every situation is different.
But there's options for all those different situations. It's like, people don't understand. Everyone hears these things and they're like, I don't need all that. And I'm like, but there's different ways to go about it.
They don't trust. I feel like people don't trust attorneys. It's kind of a combination of people not trusting attorneys and also people don't understanding and seeing the value of the services provided. Because some people,
is a big one.
It's a big one. People don't see the value. They're like, oh, this is so expensive. I'm like, it is, but this is what you're going to avoid. It is.
Because it prevents you a more expensive
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's that thing, like the cheaper options sometimes end up costing you way more money down the road because you chose to be cheaper in the beginning.
Correct.
Just do it the right way.
Would you rather pay a few $1,000 for an estate plan, or would you rather have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars? Well, not even you, your children would have to pay tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to take your estate through probate.
Yeah, well, to access what's rightfully theirs.
And then if there's disputes, because now guess what? Since you didn't plan it out and it wasn't already dictated, now your family starts fighting over who should be getting what. Now you're going to be causing money problems, but family problems. It's difficult.
And it happens even to investors and contractors. They don't want to pay for an agreement, but then when they don't get paid, there is a problem. You have to pay for the demand letter. Now you have to sue the client. Why? Because you didn't have an agreement. You don't want to pay the couple $1,000. Or, it's going to cost you have a proper agreement. So all these little things. Same with like investors or people who want to buy foreclosures. Oh, what's the least you can charge me for doing title search? We have expenses that's not for free. But that's too much. I'm like, then you're gonna buy properties with a
cloud on title,
with a lien, with a second mortgage for $385,000.
The process,
and then you're gonna be in second position, and you're gonna lose your entire investment.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's just these little things and it's gonna cost you like $1,000, but it's gonna be worth it. Like it's gonna avoid all these issues,
all these issues
right?
on the back end.
So it's kind of sad in a sense. Sometimes I'm like, same happens with closings. I've had realtors tell me, oh, but there's an attorney involved, la la la, and I'm like, why wouldn't you want an attorney involved?
You want an attorney.
You want
an attorney involved.
The attorney is the only one that's going to see the problems before they even happen and prevent them from happening.
But also,
even with just simple verbiage, this doesn't have to be anything crazy, but things that as an attorney that your regular person may not be aware of, and it could be 2 sentences that all of a sudden solve a massive issue down the road. So
it's just also like the level of defensiveness people have. Like people become very defensive. They think that attorneys are there. There's this notion, in my opinion, of that attorneys make things difficult. We do not. We just want to prevent. And we want to know what's going to happen if there is a breach, if something, if something goes wrong. Like, you have to cover your ass. You have to
think
protect
it's actually
your client.
opposite. I think, I thought I was touching
You want to hold my feet?
I thought I was rubbing the shoe. And all of a sudden I look and I'm like, that's her foot.
Claudia's being accosted by both of us. Like, I tried to hold her foot, you tried to pet her foot.
Speaking of holding feet.
Oh.
I know. Great segue. I know last week, was it last week? You had like a blind date situation going on.
Oh, no. It wasn't a blind date.
So it was a
blind introduction.
A blind introduction.
Whatever
Blind
that was.
intro.
So give us the premise, right? How did you come?
All parties were disappointed.
Wait. How did you, before we get into the meat and potatoes? How did you guys?
I know, qué mal todo.
How did you get to that point where you guys decided, sure, I'll entertain a blind introduction?
So very early, he was short.
Yeah.
No, hold on. We're talking about how she accepted the blind introduction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we determined that it wasn't going to work out very early when I asked how tall is he, and then we got an answer, and I was like, this is not working out. And then she
before
goes,
I even arrived.
Flats.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no.
He was shorter than me.
Very short.
And for reference, I know we're all sitting. I'm relatively tall. I'm like 5'7", 5'7" and a half. So I'm like 5'7", 5'7" and a half, which, granted, I don't need a basketball player. That's not my thing. Obviously, I don't mind tall people. I would prefer. But someone that's my height or around it isn't bad. But to talk about how we got to this point, I think at this point now, I'm pretty much the only one in the group that's single.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, I'm the only one. Which I gladly take on that role and responsibility. Like, I'm happy with it. I'm very comfortable being
of our
single.
friend group, because some of your friends.
I have one other friend that's also single.
Yeah.
And my other friend group from undergrad. So, but everyone else around me, like my whole family, literally everyone is in a relationship. So
even my friends who we
even
hang out with,
which it was her friend that suggested the introduction to begin with, because we've all hung out. We met at her bachelorette party. Super nice. She was like, I think I have somebody that could be good. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, you know what? At this point, it can't hurt. Like, what's the worst that can happen? And we're at a birthday party for a mutual friend. Like, it's easy. We're not going out.
The mutual friend is a year old.
Yeah. By the way, it's a baby.
It was a kid's birthday party.
So cute. I hadn't even gotten here yet, and I immediately get a text message from Maria. She's like, he's short. And I was like, I mean, it can't be that bad.
Oh, it was.
But
he was shorter than me.
Yeah.
And I'm shorter than Alex.
Yeah.
So,
like, I've never been in my mind like I can't date someone short. But you need to be at least my height. Yeah, I'll entertain the idea.
He was like, she's too tall.
Yeah.
And he was insecure. He was like moving too much. You know, like kind of like.
Damn, you just
like when you're not.
What if he watches this?
I doubt it.
Well, first off, you guys already said he was too short. As long as we don't disclose any names, it is what it is. But
might be many people.
To the who's insecure.
He was insecure.
I like the fact that he was self-aware. That he said, she's too tall.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just
some guys don't wanna.
That's fine. Well,
I have a shirt under my shirt.
Yeah.
Some guys just don't wanna date. Yeah.
Can't have you showing undershirts.
My wife beater.
Literally,
I have a wife beater on.
What? Wait, you said something right. Do you know where the phrase "wife beater" comes from?
No.
Do you guys remember the show Cops?
Like the reality
TV, the reality TV show that was Cops was a huge thing in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So in that era, that was a Florida show first off, and then it expanded. But that so not everyone, but majority of the people in that show that would beat their wives had on tank tops. So the phrase came from every time, oh, you are, that he's wearing a wife beater because it was so many people
so
wearing
common.
that
Look
had
at
the
that.
same exact
Damn.
outcome,
And it's like
and
the
it stuck,
Hanes
and it
Yeah.
stuck.
from, like,
Like the
Walmart.
very basic,
stuck.
like.
It stuck. So yeah,
Mine is
wife
from
beater comes with-
Target. My wife beater's from Target.
So so it didn't turn out to be.
No.
Got it.
I
mean, at this
I
point-
answered as if I'm the one being asked the questions, but I'm very like, not for nothing.
We had high hopes, man.
I
We
know.
did. But one of the things
Well, first of all, we were told he was 5'9". Very much not 5'9".
Not 5'9".
not 100% not.
Not
But
5'9".
not only that, it's just I feel like we need someone
Go.
who represents
You're gonna push him away with like your
Us.
foot.
and
Represents.
us.
Am I supposed to date a group representative?
No, like a man who represents
An
you
agent.
as a. You're not gonna date like cualquiera, you know.
No,
what I mean? Like, you're
obviously
very
not.
strong.
No, but he
You
was a
need
nice
someone
guy.
Very nice.
He was nice.
He was a nice guy in finance.
It's just look, man. Pa lo justo los colores.
Exacto.
It happens. It is not everyone is
what it is.
compatible with everyone.
Very nice,
That's
very
just-
smart.
Exactly.
that
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
matter.
there was nothing wrong with him mentally or like.
or even physically. It was just
No,
that
yeah.
she's taller than him, and
That's all
neither
it
of
is.
them were okay with it.
Yeah.
Like it was a mutual thing. Neither of them were okay with each other's height.
The funny part was his friend came to ask after he already left, like, "Oh,
Oh,
what
yeah.
did you think?" And her husband immediately, before I could even open my mouth, goes, "Oh, the short one? Yeah, no." And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like,
People
"You
are not
can't
ready
do
for us.
that."
We're gonna open up a can of worms right now.
Okay,
So
here we
I know you gotta go, so I'll make this quick.
Yeah.
Does height matter?
Yes, to me it
Yeah.
does
It does.
a lot.
Um.
To me, but that's me.
Yeah. Depends.
It
I
depends.
guess.
It matters, but I think since I grew up, I was tall, like always. Like majority of my life, I was one of those that like stretched out really quick at a young age. So I was used to being the tall girl in the class. Like that was my norm. So you kind of get used to the fact, like, okay, people aren't always gonna be taller than me. It's one of those things where like, that's fine. I'm okay with it. Is it a bug?
It's a single white hair.
They keep coming out. It's these conversations.
Look what you're doing to us. You, the people.
I am.
This is
And I'm
We'll keep
growing
it.
them.
I have a lot.
Like I'm growing like
this
fresh
is not on the
ones.
podcast. Okay, this is
Asshole. Now you're calling my hairs asshole?
no, but okay.
All right. So yeah,
sorry,
height,
it's
height
digressed.
matters. Height matters. I get it.
Get.
I get it.
Poor cacas.
Get.
But
no.
Would you guys be offended? So this is coming from a male perspective. I'm asking you guys, does height matter? I'm getting the female perspective.
Yes.
I agree. I think height does matter.
I think
I wouldn't want to be with a woman that's taller than me.
yeah.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
just wouldn't.
I think it also depends on heels and no heels. Like if I'm taller than you because I have heels on is one thing. If I'm taller than you in flats, that's another thing.
I hear that. I would also say if you're taller than me with heels on, I probably wouldn't date you either. Because the social setting matters also.
Right,
yeah,
Because
of
that's
course.
why height matters to begin with.
Yeah.
It's
We're
not because
in heels
of
most of the day though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like one pair of heels that I wear that make me Sal's height.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not quite. Yeah, they're the cork ones. You know the cork
Mhm.
ones
Yeah.
that have like the clear.
Mhm.
They're almost taller than him, but they're not quite. Like if that's the case, then that's fine. Like whatever. I'm like
Like a hair.
half
Yeah.
inch taller
Yeah.
because I'm wearing a set of particular heels. But if
Mhm.
like the majority of my heels, like I wear them and
Yeah.
I'm at the lower or at the height, then that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, at eye level, I'm cool.
It's
In
fine.
heels,
How
it's
tall
fine.
is your
Yeah.
wife?
My wife is
Probably
probably
like
your
5'3"
height.
and a half.
Your
5'4".
wife is like your height.
It's
My
also
wife is like
easy
your-
for me because I'm like 5'3" and a half.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the
My
other
wife
thing.
So
is
that's
like
the
your
thing.
height.
If a man is shorter than you, that's a
No,
problem.
that's a problem.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
don't
for
care.
you,
No.
it's easy to say like, yeah, I want them taller because
Mhm.
majority. But we also live in South Florida, where the majority of Hispanic men, for some reason, are super freaking short. I
know.
don't understand.
I don't know.
No, you-
I go to any other state, giants everywhere, and I'm like, this is
Yeah.
fantastic. You
But
come here and they're short.
We have a new prospect for Alexis.
Oh my, yeah, he's too healthy.
Oh.
He's too healthy for her though.
Such
He,
a
work,
good guy.
he doesn't really
No.
like go out. He works out a lot.
Well, I mean, John doesn't necessarily. He's pretty health conscious, right? No.
But
Am I
John's
right?
like
Yeah,
about
John-
it.
But I'm,
He's like
so
fun.
am I. But John is very fun,
I got it.
and he's always down.
But would
Like,
you
Sal
say?
doesn't
But
really
would you
drink
say that you
either.
guys haven't given him enough of a shot to see if
No.
he's fun or not?
I
No?
haven't even met the guy. I don't know.
No, he like straight up said like, no, I don't like to drink. I don't like to
No,
go out. I like
no.
to be healthy.
That's
Like,
a little
he likes-
too much.
like,
I'm
yeah,
all
yeah.
for working out and being healthy, but like I do enjoy going out, having a couple glasses of wine. Like there are things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's worth the shot.
It's worth a shot because we don't really know him. Like, what if he does like good?
Maybe
Like,
you
what
don't
if-
like him.
Maybe you don't like him at all. Yeah, who knows?
Oh,
But
okay.
like, very smart man.
Very
also
important.
an attorney, smart, a business owner, like-minded. So the
Well
things that
spoken,
caught our
very
attention,
well spoken.
well-spoken. The things that caught our attention about this person for you was that he was incredibly intelligent. He likes a lot of the same hobbies that you like.
Mm-hmm.
So fishing, sports, like that kind of thing,
Mhm.
which is very important. You have to like the
Yeah,
same
the
kind
same
of
things.
hobbies.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we don't have to have everything in common, but at least some things that we can have.
Yeah.
Okay,
And he likes to work out, and you like to work out.
I do.
You like being active.
I do.
Like, I could never be with a man who wants to go on a hike at fucking 5 a.m. in the morning.
Cool.
Yeah, like I could never be with a man who wants to wake up at 5 a.m. and go on hikes because I don't like doing that. Claudia will go on a hike on a Sunday.
Absolutely, yes.
She loves
Yeah.
that stuff. She likes to go on picnics. Alexis likes
Yeah.
to deep sea fish. If you take me deep sea fishing, Alexa responded.
Yeah.
If you take me deep sea fishing, we're never gonna talk again.
You probably you leave him at the bottom
I
of
will
the
leave
ocean.
him at the bottom of the ocean.
However, if you need legal advice, we will talk to you many times. All you have to do is just go to rrb-lawyers.com.
Oh wow.
Or you could just call us at 305-209-1335.
There you go.
There you go. Or go onto our Instagram, click the links, and book a consultation.
Follow us on YouTube.
Love it. Was that
Like
a
and
wrap?
subscribe.
I think that's
Like
what
and
it was. I
subscribe.
think she just said we're done.